Welcome to the Geschmack of our podcast. Sorry about the audio quality. I was on the road this week and I forgot my microphone, but hopefully it should get the job done. Parshas, Achrie, Kedoshim. The second half of the double parsha this week talks about Kedoshim to you. We should be Kaddish. We should be Halig. We should be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Elio Lapian says that as we go through this Galus, there's two Rambans that get us through. He really says, what's going to get us through this Galus? The Ramban. What's Rambans? The two Rambans. One is in Seif Parshas Boy, and one is at the beginning of Parshas Kedoshim. So the Ramban, it would be usher to not talk about the Ramban at the beginning of this week's Parsha. Kedoshim to you. We'll start with Rashi. Rashi says, what does it mean to be Halik? Kedoshim to you. What's the Torah coming to tell us in this pasuk? Be holy. Okay, great. So what do I do now? Zok Rashi, Kedoshim to you. Have a Perushim minho arayas. Separate yourself from illicit relationships. Mina aver shekol makim she'ata might together. Erva, ata might kedusha. Anytime that there's a mentioning of erva, so there's also kedusha there. We know that kedusha is different than I guess learning. Learning, in order to become a Talmud Chacham, you have to learn for months or years, more and more and more, just to get to the depth of it. When it comes to kedusha, 1 second of kedusha, you're walking in the street. You're not supposed to look at something. You look away. You already reached the matzav of a kaddish. Kedusha is not like Torah in that aspect. That's already a chiddush. But this is what Rashi says. Okay, kaddish, just to be nizar and to make a darim away from inyane znos, inyane erva. Okay, let's go to the Ramban. Famous Ramban. Zok the Ramban, the beginning of the parasha. Here's the lashon. Zok the Ramban kedoshim to you. V'taris kahanim or isi stam perushim to you. Stam perushim, to separate. Vo Indian ki atoira his hero ba'arayis v'macholas asurim. The Torah made usher certain arayis and certain macholas asuras, things that we can't eat. V'hetira v'isha ishtoi v'achilas abasav ha'yanim kim yimsav al taiva makam liyashatu v'zivas esha liyas b'soiv v'yayim v'soiv li'basar lamay. Shalai husker iser zev Torah. Zok the Ramban. The Torah made things usher, but there's still area inside of the Torah to still be a Baal Taiva. Torah didn't say I can't eat schnitzel. Okay, so why don't I have 25 pieces of schnitzel? That's not usher. Zok the Ramban. Yeah, then a person like this is considered a Navul Bershus Hatorah, the famous 3 words. You're considered a disgusting person inside the guidelines of Torah. A Navul Bershus Hatorah. Yerucham and others expound upon what exactly this means. The Indian of being a Navul Bershus Hatorah, and exactly why he's chalik on Rashi, that it's not just about Indian of Arayas, but regarding all Averis, that we should be nizar from them. What's the nafkamina between Rashi and the Ramban? A second piece of schnitzel. If I eat 1 piece of schnitzel according to Rashi, I'm fine. If I eat 2 pieces, I'm also fine, because it's not asr al pi the Torah. If the Ramban, extra pieces of schnitzel when I'm already full might even be asr. That's a high madrega. It needs some shat. L'chayr, we can talk now about the Indian of gedarim. L'chayr, this is vashtet. Gedarim, the Indian of making boundaries. Says Rabbi Yerucham, when the Torah comes to asr something, there's the isser in and of itself. And now we have a new idea about separating from the isser even further. 2 ideas, Rabbi Yerucham says, that help shed light on this concept of gedarim, boundaries. A siyag. Zok Rabbi Yerucham, number 1, a person's eating an apple. A nice mashal. You're eating an apple, he quotes it from the Alter from Sabbatka, who we learned by. A person's eating an apple and he finds half a worm inside of his apple. Never, hopefully he didn't eat the other half, but he finds a piece of a worm in his apple. Does he just put his hand in and take the worm and now throw out the worm and eat the rest of the apple? Or does he take a spoon or his finger and just wedge out that whole side of the apple, or just to make sure he doesn't eat any part of it? Or do some people, or most of us, just throw out the whole apple because it's disgusting? Obviously, that's what we do. We don't just take out just the usher part. Anything that's close to it, anything that's disgusting like that, when you find something like that, you throw out the whole thing. That's the idea of a siyag. Another beautiful mashal just to help shed some light. He quotes from the Alter that Nebuch, if a person goes to visit somebody in the hospital, and he comes in, and the person might have strep. Let's say he's in the hospital. I don't even know why, but he's whatever. He's not so sick, so he walks in. He has some Advil in the system, or maybe something stronger, or fine. That's how he visits him. But Rahman al if a person he walks in and you see your friend Rahman al is hooked up to who knows ventilators Rahman al or machines everywhere. Zok altar, you can tell a person's sickness based on all of the different things that they have around them to help them. All the different things surround them in the hospital. That's how you can tell how sick the person is. The idea of Gedorim, Rabbi Rucham and the Alter are explaining in the Ramban, Navul Bershus Hatorah, because anything that's important, anything that has real Kedusha, we have to stay far away from the opposite end, from the Tumah. We have to say, I'm going to throw away the whole apple because I don't even want to be close to it. If a person, the Gedorim of these things are sicknesses, all of these Averis, so we have to stay far away from them. Rahman al we need machines to help us. We need all the Aver, all this, so many things that are us, or even on top of it, to keep us far away from it. The famous Gemara says that b'makom shetzadikim gemurim la'amoid, or actually I'm backwards. The b'makom shebali tshuva oimdim, in the place where bali tshuva stand in the Beis Hamikdash, ein tzadikim gemurim yecholim la'amoid. Tzadikim gemurim can't stand. That means about tshuva that's learning in Eshat Torah, when it comes time in Mir Hashem for Mashiach, and we're standing davening in the Beis HaMikdash, the Baal Tshuva is going to have a spot on the dais. He'll be sitting in the front, but Reb Chaim won't be able to sit there. How can we understand this Gemara? It's hard even to say in English. A place that the Baal Tshuva stands, Reb Chaim can't stand. What's the pshat in the Gemara? This is what it says. It needs a pshat. Zokt Rabbi Yerucham. That, based also, I also heard it over the same Yesod from Rabbi Chaim Waxman, because the Yesod of Baal Tshuva is the Yesod that this person, the Baal Tshuva, he has struggled with things that Rabbi Chaim maybe never struggled with. He has said, I'm going to give away my, I sat Netflix the whole day, I'm going to give it up for the sake so I can go ahead and daven more kavana or learn with more hislavos. He gave up more for his kedusha. The Indian of Gedara makes a person Kaddish. He has now answered more things on himself to become more connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So maybe this Baal Tshuva has more Gedarim. He has more connection to Hashem in the way that he has now given up more for HaKadosh Baruch Hu than someone who's a Tzaddik Gomer. L'chayra, a beautiful pshat, and the koyach of Gedarim, and a nice hasbara into the Ramban at this week's parsha. Giving up Gashmias, having an extra piece of schnitzel, it may be usher because the gedarim of what we give up, putting boundaries for ourselves in certain areas that are usher in way far away from this, but giving up this for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it makes a person connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and helps him set up gedarim to make him more of a Kaddish. And especially in this Galus, with the riboy of everything that's going on, Baruch Hashem, we're zoicha to have this Ramban to help us, just a guideline. Obviously, anything that a person is going to do in Olam Hazeh and make the Gashmias Ruchnias, that's Mayr. That's really the way out of any sort of excess Gashmias. Make the Gashmias Ruchnias and it's Mayr. That's probably Kedusha. But to be a Navul Bershus Hatorah is now Asmi Daraisa like the Ramban. And the Chayra, it's a nice pshat in being a Navul Bershus Hatorah. A Mayr de Geshavas.